Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler. This begins a set of several episodes I'm going to record all kind of here at the same time that are an eclectic mix over these next several episodes. We've got some documentaries, we've got some stuff that I didn't know existed that I'm kind of surprised by. We got some oddball foreign items. We've got a UK version of Obi-Wan coming up. So a lot of different episodes coming up here, all being recorded here at once on, oddly enough, Father's Day of 2024. Give you a sense of how long it takes for me to edit these things. Any of the ones with this shirt in a row, yeah, it's all one batch here being recorded. And we're going to actually start with an episode here that is kind of an oddball mix of things that we've coined in the Star Wars Home Video Facebook group. I'm not sure who coined it. It may have been Matthew Hardesty. The idea of home video adjacent, right? Stuff that is related to Star Wars home video, but aren't in and of themselves home video items. Back in episode number 146, we took a look at a Star Wars parody that got an official DVD release through a magazine. We saw the DVD. This episode, we're going to see the magazine. We also, in episode number 461, took a look at several different products, novels, comics, and things like that, that were designed to sort of cross-promote with the THX Remastered Edition in 1995 by having cover art to match the home video releases, which were actually created for the home video releases, not just the home video releases sharing some poster art or something as their cover with other different products. We're going to take a look at another of those things that tie into those 1995 releases as sort of a cross-promotion and look at something in a similar vein from 2004. So, books and magazines and stuff in this one, but home video adjacent. I tried to go with the one that would be of the least interest to the most people as the first one of this series of episodes to kind of keep the content rolling out here, kind of ramp it up maybe a little bit. So you may recall that back in episode number 146, we took a look at this. Now, on its surface, this does not look like a Star Wars item. It is Total Movie Magazine, October, November 2000. Got a little dust on it here because it's been just kind of sitting on my shelf. Jam-packed DVD, all new trailers, short films, extras, and more. And all kinds of stuff about like The Exorcist, Bedazzled, something that makes it look like this should be a different type of film, quite frankly, here. But if you look at the back, it lists various content on this DVD, again, that we looked at in detail back in 146, if you want to go back and check that out. But under short films, it says Troops. Yes, this, right here, this was an official sanctioned DVD release of the Star Wars fan film Troops by Kevin Rubio, the one that kind of helped build up the fan film craze. As we've seen with things like Hardware Wars, not the first fan film, but certainly one that helped start the craze. But I had said at the time this came with a magazine, but I only really picked up the DVD in its jacket. What about the magazine itself? I finally went back and picked it up, and I swear it's a movie magazine. It sure looks like it should probably be a cover for something more like Maxim or something of the time. But this actually came with, and it's noted as October, November 2000, the first issue from September, October 2000. Kind of a weird misdating here. The October crosses over as far as the numbers go, but it's like they didn't know when their first issue was coming out or something. Of a thing called Total Movie Magazine. That is this. This is the magazine that if you were hunting for the magazine with the DVD, you'd need to find to get Troops on that DVD. There's nothing really that I have seen about Troops in this thing. It's just kind of an interesting time capsule of the time about the different movies being made at the time, different stuff that was coming out. One thing that I found particularly interesting, though, is a hardware question here. You may recall that part of what helped Blu-rays kind of get the market penetration and win the second format war against HD DVD was that the PlayStation 3 video game console was also a Blu-ray player. What some forget is that another thing that helped with penetration of DVDs originally was that the PlayStation 2 was also a DVD player. So it's kind of interesting from a time capsule perspective that this is basically an article about how, whoa, if you want a DVD player, you can get a PlayStation 2, and it will play DVDs. But it's got stuff in like Pearl Harbor, Blair Witch 2, lots of focus on Bedazzled with Elizabeth Hurley, a little bit about Episode 2, though not a whole lot, bit about Spider-Man finally getting off the ground by Sam Raimi, and so on. So if you're looking for the magazine that goes with this, finally in my collection, so now you know what to look for. Secondly, We all know, of course, the THX Remastered Edition from 1995, and we saw back in episode 461, I keep looking down to make sure that I wrote it down correctly, I've got a set of notes down on the floor over here, that in episode 461 we took a look at how the covers for the individual releases here, right, so the covers for, backwards here, Jedi, Empire, and A New Hope, still just being labeled as Star Wars at the time, the covers for them were used in cross-promotional purposes for other products, like the reissue of the comic adaptations in multiple forms, multiple printings at least. Hardback novel or novelization reissues in that time period. What I did not know, that I finally found out thanks to Matt DeRocher posting an image of this on the Star Wars Home Video Facebook group when he was showing other products that match these covers, kind of like I was doing in the episode there, is a script book set that I didn't know also shared that product look. That is this from 1995, which is repackaging, I believe, Ina's from 1994. So it says, Star Wars Trilogy, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Original Movie Scripts, Collector's Edition. Then just Starfield on the side here, on the spine. It says OSP Publishing Inc., 20 over the top, so I guess maybe 20 years. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Original Movie Scripts, Lucasfilm down here. Then the back is just Starfield with the exception of Lucasfilm logo, copyright, OSP Publishing Inc., and their copyright type stuff down there. But it really is just the slip cover. So we have looking like the A New Hope, Empire, and Jedi THX covers here. The actual scripts were initially published in 1994, but this is a second printing of them from 1995. So nothing THX Remastered looking related to them. Star Wars Original Movie Script. We don't look at all of them. They're all going to be looking the same, but we can see all of them, but not go into detail. Poster image there. Premiere, the movie magazine, the movie script library, Lucasfilm copyright, collector's edition down in the corner. The spine there, Star Wars, the movie script library. Then Premiere again, OSP again, just the logos and the taglines again. It is kind of neat in the sense that the cover here has the cutout, right? So you got the cutout there for the poster image. Makes it a little bit tricky to store away because you want to make sure that doesn't get caught on something. But it's basically just a screenplay for the most part, right? Screenplay. But then in the back of this collector's edition, you also have different, there's like filmographies for major players like Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and so on. And then different promotional images that we've seen many, many times. Several of them all in the very, very, very back. And there's one for each of the original trilogy films here. There's one for Empire as well, of course. And one for Jedi. My corner got a little smushed putting it away at one point. You got to be kind of careful with these covers. So if you're looking for the scripts, I actually don't own a bunch of Star Wars movie scripts. I think I have Phantom Menace illustrated screenplays still, and I have annotated screenplays, that one book for the original trilogy. That's pretty much it. If you are a script collector, there is actually a collection tied into the THX Remastered Edition. And of course, if you're a Star Wars Home Video collector and you like collecting Star Wars Home Video adjacent stuff, this might be something to pick up, like those novels and comics. My thanks to Matt for making me aware this even existed at all. And then finally, of course, we all know the original DVD premiere of the original trilogy on DVD in 2004. You had the silver box for widescreen in the US, the gold box for full screen, although in other markets, mostly it was just the silver box, unless it was a retailer exclusive, like in the UK, where HMV had themselves an exclusive gold version of it. And we tend to think of it as this a lot of times, but remember the other cover is the Vader face right here. Sorry. But, of course, that's another of these very iconic cover pieces specifically for a home video item. And sure enough, in 2004, alongside these, there was a new omnibus printing of all three of the original trilogy novelizations that were then put into a trade paperback form with that emulated cover. I had not realized that this was a thing. I seem to recall seeing it years ago now that I actually have it in my hands, but this is something that I just kind of did a random search thinking, am I sure there wasn't something tied into one of them? And sure enough, there was. So you have Introduction by George Lucas, Star Wars Trilogy, George Lucas, Donald F. Glutt, James Caan. Then on the spine, Actually kind of looks like the way they designed the spine here, right? They got that whole Death Star with the TIE Fighters image at the top. A New Hope. Yeah, giving it the actual subtitle, the actual name of the film, as opposed to the series that had been the case since they originally added it, but I digress. The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Ballantine Books, Del Rey. Information about this package here, the era notations here, Lucas Books, copyright, Star Wars Hyperspace, when that was still a thing, the paid online service and all, UPC, and all this down here. But yeah, another nice little companion piece kind of thing here. And that's it. That's all we want to look at in this episode. Just some home video adjacent stuff that ties into those previous things that we've taken a look at before, or in the vein of something we've seen before. Figured it didn't make sense to separate these out into separate videos. Might as well combine them into one. And yeah, give you a chance to look at some of these little oddball things that have recently entered my Star Wars home video library. We'll continue on with more stuff in the next episode, again recording here at the same time. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers, or those picking up home video adjacent items.